A bank collapsed in 48 hours. A national leader lost her job in 45 days. And somewhere in between, a family quietly lost the house they thought they could afford. Those events sound unrelated. They're not. At 7:42 a.m., a couple sits at a kitchen table staring at a mortgage calculator. 6 months ago, the monthly payment was manageable. Today, it's $847 higher. Same income, same house, same down payment. The house didn't get bigger. The payment did. They assumed the bank changed its mind. The bank assumes the market changed its mind. And that's where the story starts. Most people spend their entire lives fighting for money without realizing something else determines how powerful that money actually is. Because earning money and borrowing money are two different games. And the second game quietly controls the first. You can see it everywhere once you know where to look. A business owner delays hiring 3 employees. A real estate developer cancels a project worth $18 million. A city postpones rebuilding a bridge. Different people, different decisions, same invisible force. The strange part is that nobody receives a warning. No notification appears on your phone saying, "Attention, the cost of money has changed. Please adjust your future accordingly." Instead, reality arrives disguised as paperwork. A revised loan offer, a rejected refinance application, a renewal contract that suddenly looks much uglier than last year's version. 1 extra percentage point doesn't sound dangerous. That's because most people imagine percentages. The real world runs on payments. A loan at 3% feels like a number. A loan at 7% feels like a second rent payment. And when millions of people experience that difference at the same time, entire economies begin behaving differently. A young family decides not to move. A startup freezes expansion. A manufacturer delays opening a new facility. The decisions seem personal. The pattern is not. Then something interesting happens. The slowdown spreads. Not because people suddenly become pessimistic, because the math stopped working first. Think about a company that borrowed $50 million when money was cheap. Back then, the debt felt almost harmless. The monthly cost was manageable. Growth covered everything. Investors were happy. Employees got hired. Expansion felt inevitable. Then the loan comes up for renewal. Nothing inside the company changed. Customers still exist. Products still sell. Employees still show up every morning. But the new interest expense is double or triple. Suddenly, the numbers that once created opportunities start destroying it. The layoff announcement appears weeks later. The headline blames the economy. The real story started inside a spreadsheet. And that's when the invisible force starts revealing its real power. Because it doesn't stop at companies. It doesn't stop at homeowners. It doesn't even stop at banks. In March 2023, investors watched one of America's largest banks unravel in less than 2 days. Not because it was gambling recklessly, not because executives disappeared with the money, because it made a bet most people didn't even realize was a bet. It bought assets that were supposed to be safe. Then the cost of money changed. The assets remained safe. Their value didn't. That's an important distinction. Safe doesn't mean immune. A lesson worth billions of dollars. And if that sounds extreme, the next example is even stranger. Because the same force that crushed homeowners, pressured businesses, and destabilized banks eventually turned its attention toward an entire government. Not a company, not a portfolio, a government. Imagine waking up one morning and discovering financial markets are questioning whether your country's plan makes sense. Investors begin selling. Borrowing costs surge. Pension funds start breaking under the pressure. Emergency meetings begin. Headlines multiply. Confidence evaporates. And 45 days later, the country's leader is gone. No election. No scandal. No dramatic political revolution. Just mathematics. The market looked at the numbers and refused to cooperate. That's the uncomfortable truth most people never hear. We like to believe power lives in offices, parliaments, boardrooms, and television studios. But often the real decisions are made somewhere much quieter. Inside contracts, Inside debt markets. Inside billions of tiny calculations happening every second. Because money has a price. And when that price changes, everything connected to it changes too. Homes, jobs, businesses, governments, retirement accounts, entire futures, which creates a disturbing question. If a single invisible force can reshape the decisions of families, CEOs, banks, and world leaders alike, how many of your financial choices were actually yours in the first place? Most people would answer that question immediately. My choices are my choices. My mortgage was my decision. My investments were my decision. My career was my decision. Maybe. But walk through a normal Tuesday. At 8:03 a.m., a hiring manager removes 2 open positions from a company website. At 10:17 a.m., a couple cancels a home viewing because the monthly payment no longer fits their budget. At 1:41 p.m., a small manufacturer delays purchasing new equipment. At 4:28 p.m., a commercial developer shelves a project that looked profitable last year. None of those people spoke to each other. Yet somehow they all moved in the same direction. That's the clue. When millions of independent decisions suddenly start looking identical, something larger is influencing them. And the influence usually begins with debt. Debt has a reputation problem. People hear the word and imagine irresponsibility, credit card balances, bad spending habits, financial mistakes. But modern economies don't run on cash. They run on borrowing. Companies borrow to expand. Cities borrow to build infrastructure. Governments borrow to function. Banks borrow to lend. Even the safest retirement funds are connected to borrowers somewhere. Debt isn't a side character. It's the operating system, which means changing the cost of debt changes the behavior of the entire machine. Imagine opening a business in 2 different years. In one year, you borrow $10 million and pay 3%. In another, you borrow the same amount and pay 8%. The business plan hasn't changed. The customers haven't changed. The opportunity hasn't changed. But the required success rate just exploded. Now every mistake costs more. Every delay hurts more. Every bad quarter becomes more dangerous. Growth becomes harder. Risk becomes larger. Failure becomes closer. That's why rising borrowing costs don't simply affect loans. They affect confidence. Because confidence often comes from knowing mistakes are survivable. Cheap money forgives mistakes. Expensive money exposes them. And eventually, the exposure reaches places nobody expects. Take retirement. For years, many people believed safety and stability were the same thing. Then statements started arriving. Balances shrank. Funds designed to reduce risk suddenly produce losses large enough to make people uncomfortable. Not because anyone stole money. Not because the investments failed. Because the environment changed. The rules underneath the investments changed. Imagine buying an apartment building next to a river. The building remains strong. The structure remains solid. But the water level rises. Your problem isn't the building. Your problem is the environment around it. Financial markets work the same way. And the most dangerous environments are usually the ones people stop paying attention to. Because familiarity creates blindness. People check stock prices every day. Few people watch borrowing costs. People obsess over earnings reports. Few people watch debt markets. People debate headlines. Few people track the force creating many of those headlines. Which is strange. Because history keeps leaving clues. Before layoffs become common, borrowing often gets harder. Before projects get canceled, financing often becomes more expensive. Before growth slows, the price of money usually moves first. The signal arrives before the story. Most people only notice the story. And that's where the hidden cost appears. Not just in dollars. In opportunities. The company that never expands. The house that never gets purchased. The investment that never happens. The job that never gets created. Loss doesn't always arrive as something taken away. Sometimes it arrives as something that never gets the chance to exist. And that's far harder to see. Because nobody sends a notification for opportunities that disappeared. Nobody tells you about the business that wasn't launched, the promotion that wasn't funded, the project that wasn't approved, the future that quietly became too expensive. By the time people notice the effects, they're already living inside them. Which raises another question. If borrowing costs can influence everything from a family's mortgage to a nation's economy, who decides what those borrowing costs become in the first place?
If interest rates can reshape a family's mortgage, a company's hiring plan, and a government's survival, one question remains. Who actually sets that number? Most people answer immediately, the central bank. And they're partially right. Central banks control short-term rates. They can make borrowing cheaper or more expensive overnight. But there's a second market, one that no government fully controls. The bond market, a market worth over $140 trillion. Larger than every stock market on Earth combined. This is where investors vote on the future. Not with opinions, with money. Imagine a government announces its economy is strong, inflation is under control, and the future looks stable. Then investors start selling that country's bonds. The market is saying one thing clearly: we don't believe you. In finance, what gets said doesn't matter. What gets priced does. This is why some economists argue that politicians control elections. But bond markets control the cost of their mistakes. Britain learned this in 2022. A new government announced an ambitious spending plan. Markets didn't applaud. They sold. Bond yields surged. Borrowing costs jumped. Pension funds started breaking under the pressure. Within 45 days, the plan was gone. The prime minister was gone. No election. No scandal. Just mathematics refusing to cooperate. The same pattern repeats across countries, decades, and economic cycles. Because the bond market doesn't care about speeches. Cares about one question every borrower eventually faces. How trustworthy are you? A family applying for a mortgage. A startup requesting a credit line. A corporation refinancing debt. A government issuing bonds. Different scales. Same question. And the answer always shows up in the rate. The strangest part is that most people never see the system operating. They only experience its consequences. A mortgage that suddenly costs more. A job opening that quietly disappears. A project that gets shelved. A raise that doesn't arrive. They see the effects. They never see the engine. Which is why the bond market remains one of the most powerful forces most people never discuss. Every day, news covers elections, speeches, and political decisions. But behind all of it, one quiet question is being answered in real time. What does money cost today? Because that answer determines which companies grow and which ones quietly disappear. Which families buy homes and which ones keep waiting. Which governments spend freely and which ones get forced to retreat. Maybe the bond market was never really about money. Maybe it's about time. About how much faith people have in a future they cannot see. When that faith holds, capital flows easily. When it breaks, everything gets more expensive. And the world doesn't run on money. It runs on the price of money. That price is changing right now. Somewhere a decision is being made that will affect a mortgage, a business, a retirement account, maybe yours. And most people won't notice until the paperwork arrives.